So now the 1-1 off the plate. Count now 2 balls and a strike to Fisher Ingersoll. Far stuff, 2-1 counts. And that 2-1 into the glove, called strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and 1 out here to Fisher Ingersoll. And now back to the screen. We mentioned the football season. Fisher hurt his knee toward the end of the year. An outstanding wide receiver. He and Maddox Madsen were spectacular together. It was hard to see him go down. And Noah Moyaki also got hurt toward the end of the year in that very promising American Fork team. The 2-2 lifted out of play. Fisher comes back, batting .376 on the season, driving in 39 runs. Five doubles, 4 triples, and 10 home runs. So you show that timing back into the screen. I mentioned he'll go to play for TCU down in Fort Worth. We'll go join fellow Utah Braden Taylor, the former Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Had a terrific sophomore year. Did Braden was just named to the Team USA. He's playing this summer. Is that Bender? No. There's Ryder Robinson's like, hey, if I was a right-handed batter, I would strike 3. Mr. Umpire said no. The full count back into the screen. Three balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Fisher grounds this one back up the middle. Fry bobbles it, not in time. He's safe at first. E4 there is Fry bobbled out. And he's telling him, hey, it's my fault. But runner aboard there for Fisher Ingersoll is he'll reach on the air. And I'll bring up Easton Jones. Of course, American Fork, mentioned him being the 6A state champion last year. They hung a banner, if you recall, during the pandemic. We had the Last Chance tournament. American Fork won that baseball tournament. All the top teams would have been in that 6A state tournament that year, played in the tournament, and they actually put the banner up in the school. It's part of their state championships. So you could be saying back-to-back state champions. The team with Easton Walker and young Caden Carpenter. So the 0-1 to Jones, wide of the plate. Evens the count of the ball and a strike. Jones batting .419 on the year. Drove in 23 runs and 6 home runs. Ingersoll just off of first. Left-handed Heaton finds the middle of the plate. Count now, ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 well off the plate. Kind of goes to 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 on. Runner goes, and Ingersoll, Bender, no. Throw down to second, not in time, as Ingersoll will take second base. So runner in scoring position with a full count. I'll say as much. I don't know you'll see a bigger baseball team in the state of Utah. Good grief. You see Ingersoll and now Easton Jones, and then you think you're big, then you're going to see Caden Carpenter come up. Mercy. The payoff pitch. That's wide of the plate. So 2 on now for American Fork is Caden Carpenter. Comes the dish. He's also the starting pitcher. Been an interesting year for Caden. His junior year was he hit it very well. We'll get through his numbers here. 403 on the year with 9 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs. A little down from the last season. We'll pull those up here in a little while, but committed to the University of Utah. One of my favorite fun facts, he's the nephew of Layton High School basketball coach Kelby Miller. Is that ball back through the box, and that's going to bring in a run. The throw from McChesney will be cut off, and American Fork strikes first. RBI single for Caden Carpenter. So Ingersoll reached on the error, makes it hurt. So that brings up Josh Rojas, the catcher. And for Carpenter, that's his 27th RBI on the season. So runners on first and second. And that ball fouled out. Rojas batting .384 on the year. And that pitch is wide of the plate. Got 24 RBIs, 9 doubles on the season, also 3 long balls. And now the 1-1. That's out of the zone as well. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Rojas. The 2-1. And that's in for a called strike 2. I know it's where it crosses the plate. So a ball and 2 strikes. Or probably runners on first and second. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. And Heaton misses wide. So the count again full. Some stressful at-bats here in the first inning for Josh Heaton, who statistically has been the most consistent pitcher for Lone Peak this season. And a fastball gets by him. 2 down. So Heaton struck out the leadoff man. The next 3 get aboard, and a run comes in. He strikes out Rojas. So 2 outs as Dax Newman comes to the plate. And Newman fouls that one out of play. They have timed up Heaton. They have fouled off a lot of pitches. So Dax Newman was part of that state championship team last year. Championship game had a RBI and a run scored. In Carpenter's shutout game in the championship is that one finds the outer part of the plate for strike 2. So quickly up 0-2 here. His Heat and a chance to get out of the jam. No balls, 2 strikes. And 2 out, 2 on. The 0-2 chopped to the left side. That's going to get through. Going to bring the runner around. The throw is late. Jones is in there for the second run of the game. Another RBI single for Dax Newman. And it's 2-0 American Fork. A little too much of the plate on an 0-2 pitch. One time you tell your guy, hey, 0-2, we got 1 to burn. Well, caught way too much of the plate there. You know, to drive that one in the left field. So now the 0-1 pitch to Dax Watts. Well, because we'll keep track of baseball. The first time I think I've ever done a game with 2 kids both named Dax back to back. Their mom must have been a fan of Punked back in the day. It was Dax, who's now married to I'm a Dad of Girls, so the voice of Anna from Frozen. Why can't I think of his name? Someone knows it in the box. I know they do. His 0-2 fouled out of play as well. He married to Kristen Bell. The funniest stories about their recliner. He won't get rid of it. I'll have to think about it. Anyway. I'm just Dax Shepard. I'm sure their mom has a crush on Dax Shepard. Both of them. So the count now stays at 0-2, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. An inning which a crooked number put up by American Fork. Coach Ingersoll does a great job. Of course, Ingersoll family looking for the double dip this week. Lehigh in 5A, American Fork 6A. Their dad, a legendary coach. I believe their grandpa was too. That one fouled out of play. In fact, I believe they had a family member that was the, well, it definitely has an Ingersoll, was the first basketball coach at Lone Peak when it opened in the mid-90s. As that ball lifted back into the screen. So top of the first. Apologize, got it. The 5th foul ball. 5th straight foul ball. And I think it's about their 20th of the inning. It's a lot of free snow cones out there for little kids running around. So we start changing the bubble to bubble gum. And the 0-2 wide of the plate. And quite the at-bat here from Dax Watts, the first baseman. And the 1-2. That was lifted on the right side. Easton Comer camps underneath it. And that'll do it for the top of the first inning. But American Fork plates 2 to take an early 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Lone Peak coming to the plate. Caden Carpenter taking the hill for American Fork. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State. Bottom of the first and leading off for for Lone Peak is Crew McChesney, the center fielder. As that ball's up. Of course, Crew offered to play baseball here at BYU. Also a stud football player for Lone Peak. Scored the game-winning touchdown in the state championship game. As Lone Peak knocked off Power Corner Canyon. That's his battery on that touchdown pass. Is Easton Comer that had the last out there in the first inning. So count now 2 balls and no strikes to Crew. Fouls that one off. Chesney comes in today batting .420 on the season. 37 hits. He's driven in 25 runs. Fouls that one back as well. On Thursday, had an RBI. Or put it on Fridays. He chops this one to first. Dax has it. Steps on first for the first out of the inning. Nicely handled by Dax Watts. And that brings up Cade Gamble. Of course, coming to Larry Miller Field, nothing new to Cade Gamble. His brother Cole plays at BYU. He's committed to play at Slick. The Bruins once again made it to the Junior College World Series. And that's in for a called strike. Stevens count at 1-1. Gamble, a .354 hitter on the year. Fouls that one back to the screen. I think Chris Pettingill let us know if we break the record for the most foul balls in a full inning in a state tournament game that started after 2 o'clock. The 1-2 pitch up in the zone evens up at 2-2. And that 2-2 pitch buzzes the tower as the count goes full. Of course, remind you to get your Maverick tickets this week. That comes out on the 27th. Hopefully, we have a day off on the 27th. If everybody wins, no one-loss team wins. And now the payoff pitch. Back up the middle by Gamble. That's a 1-out single. So runner aboard for Coach Bezant and the Lone Peak Knights. The shortstop, number 21, Caden Hodson. And I'll bring up Caden Hodson with 1 out and 1 on. As Carpenter hits the outer part of the plate. Hodson, the shortstop for the Lone Peak Knights. 408 hitter. Driven in 27 runs on the year, 4 home runs. And now the 0-1, well off the plate, evens the count of the ball and a strike. Throw over. Got him. Saw that one coming. They got to pick up that tail. Caden Carpenter Picks off Gamble, and there's now 2 away and nobody on. He saw that. He gave the quick look down, came right back up before he even kicked over to first. And Gamble got caught leaning. I'm telling you, that's one where the first base coach tonight is going to be kicking himself all evening. First of all, your head coach blames you for it. And you blame yourself as that wasn't as well off the plate. Count now 2-1. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Hodson. Strike 3. Got one on, and Carpenter picked him off. And at the end of 1, it is American Fork 2, Lone Peak 0. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSL Sports. So we move to the top of the second inning. Going to try to drop a bunt down. Heaton has it. Not over in time. Davis Andrews with an infield single. Caught him napping. And the funny thing about baseball is he does that there and you think, hey, it's a good play. If it was a no-hitter, you'd be hearing that was Bush League. So I'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, C.J. Mascaro. That misses. Didn't miss by much, but it missed. Here's one thing they got to have to check there, is that the official number there on David Andrews is not right. Coach Bezin could protest that, couldn't he? You get to hear me talk out loud with our officials here. Their lineup card doesn't have a 35. So, and the number in the book is 5, not 35. Boston Star is 35. So unless they lifted him already. Interesting. They lifted in re-entry. So that's in there for a called strike. Count now. So 2 balls and a strike. Mascaro squares, no. Count now goes to 3-1. That ball lifted into left field. It's not tailing, going to be taken for the first out of the inning. Now making the play was Cade Gamble. So back to the top of the order we go as Ryder Robinson comes to the plate. Ryder went down on strikes last inning. The second baseman. And as that ball is lifted out of play. So big thing for Heaton, as any pitcher, you get ahead, stay ahead. And this is a potent American Fork lineup. Throughout a year, you may be able to get them napping as they lost 3 region games, 6 games overall. But you get in the state tournament, this much talent, it's going to be hard to get through this lineup. You're hitting 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all extremely good hitters. It's a tough thing to deal with. As that pitch misses, and even as the count of the ball and a strike. The 2-1 hit well in the center field. That ball drifting back. Still going back. McChesney makes the catch. You see the wide receiver skills on Crew McChesney. Tracks that ball down like a deep ball from Easton Comer and able to pull it in for the second out of the inning. Normally we wouldn't get that excited about a ball to center field when you're playing as shallow as he is. That is quite the run, and it was hit on the screws by Ryder Robinson. So now comes Fisher Ingersoll. Lefty on lefty. Nobody covering second base. Fortunate. That ball didn't get into the outfield. So a duck on the pond here for Fisher Ingersoll. The 1-0. Oh. Umpire didn't like the picture or the frame. Count out 2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch lifted. In the right center field, Crew McChesney will range over and squeeze it for the third out of the inning. Robinson gave one a ride. McChesney took it away. We head to the bottom of the second. It's American Fork 2, Lone Peak 0. You're watching the 2022 6A State Championship. So welcome back to Larry Miller Field. Dusty Litster with you. Our 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament coverage brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. Go to utah.law. Find the law office nearest you and get a free consultation. Just let them know that Game Night Live Rewind sent you. And Justin Heidemann and his associates will give you that free consultation and get you on the right path. So leading off the bottom of the second inning for Lone Peak is Jordan Fry, the second baseman. Fry also one of the better pitchers for Lone Peak. You see him in first relief. He did pitch on Friday. 2 innings. So he hits this one to short. Ingersoll with it. And then is on his way to first in time. And a quick 2-pitch out for Caden Carpenter. The pitcher, number 22, Josh Eaton. Carpenter went 6-2 on the season coming into today. The chop ball to the left side. Newman up with it all the way to first. That's Easton Jones for the second out. And I got him at 3 pitches, Curtis. All right. I said a 4-pitch inning last game, and Curtis corrected me that it was 6. I'm not missing this one. So 5-3 put out on the first pitch, and that brings up Chris Billings. Chris was the winning pitcher on Friday in the closeout game against Copper Hills. Fastball in there for a called strike. And that's in there. Misses the plate for ball 1. Billings drove in 22 runs on the season. And he looks at ball 2. Quick little chat with Caden Carpenter. Reminds us to remind you, make 2022 the year of you. Go to wgu.edu to fill out your opportunity for a $1,000 scholarship and get your help at Western Governors University. Get your degree on your own time, at your pace, and on your own terms. wgu.edu. A ball fisted to first. And just getting there in time on the cover is Caden Carpenter. 3 up, 3 down. Lone Peak retired in order as we go to the top of the third. American Fork leads 2-0. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament. So welcome back into top of the third inning. Dusty Lister with you. Give you an update from Rio Tinto in the 5A boys soccer semifinals. Both games went 1-1 in regulation, both in the shootouts. Lehigh took the first one today, 3-1 in the shootout. Alta wins the shootout in the second semifinal, 3-2. So Alta-Lehigh in a region rematch. I know that Alex Toom will have had a great call on that, as we'll have those highlights up on our Instagram later today, GNL Rewind, as I'm giving Vince Francis work to do after he's done with his stuff at UVU. Here's the 0-1, and that pitch in there for called strike 2 to Easton Jones. He reached on a walk back in the first inning. Now it's well off the plate. Can hold the. I got to give it to Tenny. If you're going to frame, you're going to frame. He's framing that in the batter's box. Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 to Easton Jones for the first out. Everything from Lone Peak just a little off there. That's the second time they're going to throw it around and throw it into the outfield. One of my baseball mentors, Jeff Cisneros, the head coach at Carbon now, we coach together with the helper. I've also played for him. If you threw a ball around and it went in the outfield, Jeff would lose his mind. Drove him crazy. That's in there for a called strike. Caden Carpenter stepping in. Carpenter had an RBI single in the first inning. And the future Utah Ute. Ooh, that ball's off the plate. He's going to go join a lot of Utah kids. The University of Utah's kind of learned. They had a great run in the early mid-2000s, mid-aughts. A bunch of in-state kids that ran that program, and former teammates of mine, Brady Martinez and others. And then they kind of lost their way and went away from all a bunch of Utah guys. They got them all back. Landon Fry and others have all led the way in what was a pretty successful Utah season. And then you get Caden Carpenter to stay at home amongst a bunch of guys from Utah. Now foul ball, everybody need to be taken care of. The umpire wears that one. You give him a chance to get himself collected. Tenny earning him maybe a smidge of an inch off the plate, but Coach Ingersoll trying to fix that too. Those catchers always take care of their home plate umpire. He wears one. Go take a timeout. Let him gather himself. So Carpenter back in for the 1-2. The Bender wide of the plate. So the count even at 2-2. And now that 2-2 from Heaton. Wide of the plate. Count now goes full. And now the payoff pitch. And that's a little off the plate. So a one-out walk for Caden Carpenter. I'll bring up Josh Rojas. So Jet Walker speeding up for Carpenter as Rojas fouls that one into the screen. The ball fouled off down the right field line and out of play. And just count to 0-2 to Rojas. Josh went down on strikes his first at bat. Heaton going to try to keep things close. So Rojas steps back in. The 0-2 lifted well down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's gone. And it is foul. That ball was just hanging up there. And goes foul. You can't even call it a long strike. Just a long reset. We'll come back 0-2. And Rojas stays alive once again, found that one off. So no balls, 2 strikes. Rojas hanging on here. And now the 0-2 wide of the plate. Snap down to first, not in time. Runner back. Jet Walker, I'm sure he's not going to let older brother Easton see him get picked off on first. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner on first here for American Fork. Looking to add to their 2-0 lead. The 1-2, well wide of the plate and holding the frame and giving up second base. Good read there by Walker. And people looking at the look, I'm someone who believes, especially in baseball, your players got no situations. If you're falling asleep, not holding runners, and also not getting a throw down, I mean, that's more than anything. Looking in the dugout and asking a coach for what you should do, that's a baseball thing. Especially a left-handed pitcher. If you're stealing a bag on a left-handed pitcher, that's a long, they're watching that long delivery. But better for anything else for Heaton is getting the man at the plate, and he does on the called K. So 2 outs. But to belabor the point, especially high school level, you see guys that, and I love knowing the American Fork's not getting too close to the bag, left-handed pitcher. They're taking 2 stolen bases, essentially walking to second base. But that's all done on the field. That has nothing to do with the dugout. So now I'll bring up Dax Newman. The right fielder had an RBI single in the first inning. And Newman swings through that one. The 0-1 wide of the plate. Ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Dax Newman. The runner on second base, 2 outs. And a nice pitch swung through. The count now moves to a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 misses inside. The count now even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And a runner on second. See if they put him in motion. Infield back. They don't. The ball has struck well in the center field, but Krubik Chesney is there for the 3rd out of the inning. So AF threatens, but Lone Peak takes care of business. We head to the bottom of the 2nd, 2-0. American Fork leading Lone Peak. You're watching the 2022 6A State Tournament on KSL Sports. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Dane Tenney will lead off for Lone Peak as Carpenter's pitch misses. Dusty Lister with you here at Larry Miller Field. The reigning 6A champion, American Fork Cavemen, taking on their region foe, Lone Peak. In fact, let's just go through around the temple and through the orchards between these 2 schools. So much of the history between these 2 is the fact that they share so much history with families that all grew up going to American Fork and then having to go to Lone Peak in the mid-90s. What also is crazy is that both programs have had more success since Lone Peak came into existence than before. Unless you're thinking of John Hoover and all the stuff he did at PG, but interestingly enough. So a quick little conference with Coach Carpenter, with Caden Carpenter over. And that's in for a called strike. And that one there's so in there as well, so count goes to 2-2. Two balls, two strikes here to Tenning leading off the inning. The ball fisted to the right side, and nice job arranging back, making the play. You think you might see a Texas leaguer fall in there, but Ryder Robinson there. No punch and Judy's allowed in that at bat. So one away. And that brings up Easton Comer, the first baseman. Who was our pressure performer of the year for the football season, is starting quarterback at Lone Peak. That ball fouled off down the right field line. It's quite the football season for Easton Comer. His only year getting to start as the quarterback for the Knights. He ended the winning streak for Corner Canyon. They thought they were going to break the record set by Duchesne that night, but nope. In came Comer and Lone Peak running Ruckshaw all over the Corner Canyon defense. And then in the 6A state championship game, which might be the best football game in the history of the state, put on a show as Lone Peak followed up that performance by knocking off Corner Canyon, ending the run of the Chargers. So he fouls that one out of play. Easton signed to play football after his LDS mission at Weber State and just got his call to go serve in the Milan, Italy mission. And that 1-2 pitch off the plate. And count now 2-2. And bounce, the count now full. Three balls, two strikes, and one out. And that one bounced as well, and an 0-2 count worked into a walk for Easton Comer. So man aboard. And that brings up Jethro Johnson, the right fielder. And Johnson has shown some timely hitting in the two games we broadcasted this year of Lone Peak. He had the two RBI single against Bingham in their win against the Miners earlier this year on April Fool's Day. And then, of course, he had one last week against Copper Hills as well. It was a ball, so count 1-0. Now 1-0 pitch. Can't get a feel for the outer part of the plate today. Is the count even at 1-1. One ball, one strike. One on and one out. As Johnson offers and fouls it back to the screen. Count out ball and two strikes here to Jethro Johnson. Hit the third. Jones is second. Quick turn as a double play. 5-4-3 to close out the inning. How about the quick hands at second base from Ryder Robinson to turn that one? We go to the top of the fourth, and it's American Fork 2, Lone Peak 0. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball Tournament on KSL Sports. Welcome back to the top of the fourth inning. And Dax Watt's going to lead off the inning. American Fork to reigning 6A champs, leading here 2-0 as Watts fouls that one off down the right field line and out of play. The bullpen has been full of baseballs today. In our first 2 games, I think we had one at bat. We had 7 straight pitches that were fouled off in that Farmington-Fremont game. I think we got pretty close to that in Watts' first at bat. I feel like Dax Watts was batting for a lifetime of 15 minutes. But he fouls that one down the line. He finally flew out to first base in his first at bat. Actually, it might have been F5, not. I was actually in first inning, it would have been F3. But here we go. The 0-2 from Heaton. Got one to burn up 0-2. Expect to see a breaking ball. He might not have liked the call, but he was getting there from Tenney. Expect 0-2 to see breaking piece on the outer half of the plate. I'm going to try to come inside. It is a bender, and that one's sent foul down the left field line. And fun to be back at Larry Miller Field for the state baseball tournament. First time since 2007. Not going to have the championship games here. We'll be moving to UVU for Saturday. And that 0-2 pitch popped up to second. Fry ranges back and makes a catch. And the leadoff man retired. So F4 in your books is Davis Andrews. Going to come to the plate. Andrews reached on an infield single. In the second inning, dropped a bunt down. A napping third baseman. Offers it the high cheese. And the count 0-1. To elevate that fastball sometimes, especially four-seam fastball. It just looks big, and guys can't reach that one, especially up and out. Goes down the zone, swung through and missed. Just tell your catchers up, down, in and out. Changes eye level, so if you go up and down, see if you go down again with a breaking piece. Go down and away, misses out. It's about eye level, so up, down, in and out. And now the 1-2. Got him on the inside. Strike three. Nice job there by Heaton. And 2 away. So it brings up C.J. Mascaro. Flew out to left. His only plate appearance. And he goes the other way again. Little Wade Boggs action. And a runner aboard with 2 outs. So back to top of the order for American Fork as Ryder Robinson comes to the plate. Robinson 0 for 2 on the day. Went down looking in the first, flew out to center. Hit the ball in the screws as McChesney gave him, playing him a little deeper than he did on the ball he chased down just in front of the warning track. And Robinson fouls that one out. You didn't hit the sound effect on that one? You got a light bulb or something. And it's stuck up there, according to our fans right below it. So text Courtney Littledyke. See how he's feeling over there. Breaking piece is off the mark. So a ball and a strike here to Ryder Robinson. A 1-1 lifted in the right field, giving chase, able to get grabbed. Oh, goes off his glove. Played it exactly how you wanted to. Kissed off the front of the leather, and a run comes in. Absolutely heartbroken for Jethro Johnson, who did exactly what he was supposed to do. He got back on that ball, and it goes right off of his glove. So a run comes in on the air. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't wait for the ball. He got back to the warning track, found it, and off the front of the leather. And so it's going to be... So now a runner on third and 2 outs. And no RBI on that. And for Ryder Robinson, just a fun memory of being able to get to third. And Ingersoll, big swing and a miss, evens the count at a ball and a strike.
I'm changing it. Just don't tell him between innings. Yeah. And let it like something off.
Ingersoll to the right side. Comer able to get to it, but nobody home to get it. That's going to be an infield single. It is a nice job of Comer getting that ball, but Heaton had fallen asleep and didn't come over for the cover. So put runners on the corners and 2 outs. As Caden Hodson, he's going to try to calm everybody down here. Want to keep everybody together, focus up, get 1 out. That brings up Caden Carpenter. So that brings up Easton Jones, the third baseman. Jones walked and scored back in the first. That one off the plate. Count evened up at 1-1. So it's a runner on first base and a 3-0 lead. And the 1-1. Bender slowed down the bat, swung through, and missed.
the week before. Thanks.
Runner goes. Nobody home on the throw. Wouldn't have mattered. Ingersoll got that on the move. So Fisher with his second stolen bag. But so the count goes at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Easton Jones. Second inning with a crooked number for the Cavemen. The bender misses. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And now the payoff pitch. Ingersoll goes. That one's fouled off. So Ingersoll go back and we'll do it again. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the runner on second base. And Jones hangs again. And the payoff pitch. Got inside, and Jones able to foul it off. Stop me if I've said that today. Another foul ball. Fun thing watching before the game. You had Fisher Ingersoll's younger brother down playing on the field, along with Easton Jones' younger brother as well. Playing on the same 9 and under team. As Ingersoll goes, that one's a swung through a miss, strike 3. So the threat over, but another 2-run inning for American Fork, taking advantage of some Lone Peak mistakes. It's the Cavemen 4, Lone Peak 0. You're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. You watch the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, and this Lone Peak lineup's got to get going, trailing 4-0. So top of the order for Lone Peak. As Caden Carpenter has worked in order. Is only one base runner today. Is his only runner on board today is Cade Gamble, who singled and was picked off in the first inning. And since then, Carpenter settled into this game, has been on lockdown. As the count goes to 2-1. Here to Crew McChesney. McChesney's only at bat today. He grounded out to first. And that's called strike 2. Mentioned McChesney, just a junior. Two sports stud at Lone Peak. Outstanding wide receiver, and we've seen today a terrific center fielder. And we're fouled off. And we'll do it again. Everybody just needs a second. Now, come off the catcher's helmet and get your umpire in the mug. And give him a second there. It's a tough life being a home plate umpire. We saw a game earlier this year. Almost like a right cross to the jaw of that umpire in Angels game earlier this year. Knocked the home plate umpire out of the game. He wore 2 of them in the game. Certainly feel for him. And now the 2-2. Chopped foul to the right side. Showing some good hands there at first base. Coach Ingersoll loving him up a little minute. So 2-2 here to Big Chesney. Called strike 3. Fastball in the outer half. And a leadoff man goes down looking. Great pitch there by Carpenter. Interestingly enough, only his second K of the day. He's pitched to contact today. Hasn't tried to overpower the Lone Peak hitters. That misses for ball 1. This brings up Cade Gamble, the only hit for Lone Peak. And a big swing on that one, evens the count at 1-1. And now the 1-1 check swing right to Fisher Ingersoll. Trying to pull it back. A little lazy line drive out there.
The shortstop, number 21, Caden Hudson.
And Hodson steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. As this Lone Peak attack has been absolutely smothered by Caden Carpenter and the American Fork defense. And up all to the right side and foul. Mentioned this American Fork team comes in the 5th seed, the reigning champion. And the RPI still got to get some things tweaked in it. There's that ball chopped to the right side and foul. Out-of-state games don't really help you. I think that's a mistake. They went out and played in the Scott Boras tournament, the Scott Boras Classic down in Arizona. Put some outstanding teams. But lost 3 games in state, in region. Lost 4 in state, lost to Riverton right here at Larry Miller Field. And this Carpenter gets the strikeout. So Carpenter comes right back. It's another K and a down in order once again for Lone Peak. We go to the top of the 5th inning, all American Fork. They lead 4-0. You're watching the 2022 6A State Tournament on KSLSports.com. Yeah, welcome back. Top of the 5th inning. Dusty Lister with you here. The American Fork Cavemen leading the Lone Peak Knights 4-0 is Caden Carpenter, who's been dominant on the mound, comes into the batter's box and chops out Comer. And there's 1 out, and we do have a pitching change. I believe that's gold on white's not helping anybody here.
The catcher, number 7, Josh Rojas.
As Josh Rojas comes to the plate. I'm guessing that's Jordan Fry. Oh, that's a foul ball. It's foul. Oh, they say hit him first, hit him on the back first. Coach Bezin going to come out and have a conversation. Coach Bezin wants him to check with the third base umpire, but he doesn't have a better view at that one than the home plate umpire. We heard it hit the bat, but he's, yeah. Notice he wants to check because if you can get a strike, if you're Bezin, you want it. So our umpires consulting, and then put him on first base. Yeah. For Lone Peak. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're fine. So Dax Newman will come to the plate as Rojas is granted first base. And it is Jordan Fry is coming to pitch. And that's in for a called strike. So Newman singled and drove in a run back in the first. And then flew out to center field in his second at bat. And that one fisted to the right side. Going to fall in first to third for the speed up runner for Rojas. Now runners on the corners. Good piece of hitting there by Newman. Hit behind the runner. And go first to third, and Watts comes to the plate. Long at bats for Watts. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Watts flew out to first in the first inning and flew out to second in his second at bat, back in the fourth. But he has a plethora of foul balls today. There's another one. So runners on the corners. Double play ball still in order here for Watts. And that's in there for a called strike 2. Imagine you're going to have a runner in motion here. And good job of Watts breaking it up, getting the timeout granted. Runner goes. Watts goes back up the middle, and that's through. 2-out RBI single for Dax Watts. Good piece of hitting. And it's now 5-0 in favor of American Fork. So runners stay on the corners. As Davis Andrews, the designated hitter, comes up. And that ball fell back to the screen. No balls and a strike. Runners on the corners. And one out. Shows bunt. And that ball gets by Tenney. So now runners on second and third. So double play ball out of order. So ball and a strike. And that one misses down. So 2 balls and 1 strike. This try's got to come all the way back here. The 2-1 fouled away by Andrews, evens the count at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. These AF hitters, they have battled all day long. Except got them down to 2 strikes and give it up. And that one fouled off as well. And that ball fouled off again. Out of play. And then that ball fouled off again at the plate. Davis Andrews doing his best Dax Watts impression. How many secondary pitches do you want to throw here for Jordan Fry? The 2-2. After a long at-bat, finally gets the K and the out. Terrific at-bat there by Davis Andrews. He's frustrated, but man alive, not going down easy. That brings up CJ Mascaro. And Mascaro, 1 for 2 today. Hits this one well in the right center field. That's good down all the way to the wall. Bringing in 2 is Mascaro. And the 9-hole hitter with 2 RBIs. And it's 7-0 American Fork. And the champs looking like the champs here. Seven nothing American Fork. That ball hit right on the screws. And you can only imagine Fry finally gets out of that long at bat with Andrews. And left one well over the plate. And Mascaro made him pay for it. They want to come out and check on McChesney, and he's telling him he's fine. So while they do that, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament. So McChesney's all good, staying out there, back to the top of the order. And Ryder Robinson showing off his switch hitting skills as he goes to the left side of the box with the right-handed pitcher. And that's in there for a called strike. Robinson went down on strikes. He flew out to center. He's hit the ball well today. He struck that one well that McChesney tracked down. And then last inning, hit the ball well in the right field. Johnson got back on that ball after having to chase it down to the warning track and had to go off the front of his glove. Played in 2 runs, and the hard thing for Robinson is he didn't pick up the RBIs on that. He did score right after that, however. As that pitch misses. The count even at a ball and a strike. As Fisher Ingersoll's on deck. And 2 away. Fastball, got the outer half. So ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 misses inside, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Ryder Robinson. For Fry, this is one he's got to have. Ingersoll on deck with the long ball. It'd be 10-0, and Carpenter coming up, having shut down this Lone Peak lineup, would have a chance to end the game in the 5th. So that pitch is wide, and count goes full. Top of this order so potent. Is going to short hop Comer, and he's able to step on it for the 3rd out of the inning. But another crooked number inning for American Fork. They plate 3 more and take a 7-0 lead at the bottom of the 5th inning. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament on KSL Sports. Bottom of the fifth inning. Dusty, let's show it here from Larry Miller Field as Lone Peak has fallen behind 7-0 to the reigning champion American Fork Cavemen, and Caden Carpenter has been outstanding. Coming into this game, it had been a little erratic from the hill, but he has been absolutely dialed in here. As we mentioned, he's retired Lone Peak in order in every inning. And there's the second hit. Only given up 2 hits on the day, but he did pick off the only base runner he's had today in Cade Gamble. But Jordan Fry, and now the pitcher for Lone Peak, comes through with a single. Now I'll bring up Josh Heaton. Or pardon me, it's not Josh Heaton. It is. Heaton was just replaced within the field, unless he re-entered here to hit. If he did re-enter, then it'd be replacing Max Bateman or Chris Billings. We'll see where that switches to. Heaton 0 for 1 today. Grounded out his only plate appearance. Looks at strike 1. And now the 0-1. And the count out quickly, 0-2. And that one misses inside. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that one goes out of play by Heaton. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here, Josh Heaton. Slide step, and Carpenter has it. Ingersoll for the turn. A 1-6-3 double play. Trivially done by Caden Carpenter. And then you see the quick hands of Fisher Ingersoll. And now 2 outs. And so often we talk about that first throw being the big part of the double play, which it is, but it's always the turn. How quick are the hands in the middle infield? And you've seen both sides of the bag. Just terrific hands. Ryder Robinson and now Fisher Ingersoll. So Billings to the plate, fouls that one back to the screen. And only his second plate appearance here for Billings. He grounded out to first. Back in the second. Looks at ball 1. The count evened it up. And that one in there for a called strike 2. Buckled at the knees on that one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on as Carpenter kicks and fires, and that just fouled off. And we'll do it again. And interestingly enough, we mentioned the last inning, Carpenter only 2 Ks on the day. He's pitched to contact, let his defense work behind him. He's been a part of the defensive effort as well. It's a terrific outing. Oh, didn't miss by much, but does miss. Goes even 2-2. And the 2-2 swung on and missed by Billings. Drop third strike as Rojas fouls that down for the third out of the inning. We are through 5, and it is all AF. The reigning champs lead 7-0. You watch the 2022 6A baseball tournament on KSL Sports. It's top of the 6th inning, and Fisher Ingersoll going to lead things off as he looks up on 1. Fisher has always been active in this one. He did reach on. He's reached on 2 errors. Scored a run. So it's just good to see Fisher back on the field after the football injury toward the end of the season. Wondered if he'd be able to play this spring. Able to find his way onto the field. There were 2 players hoping that to be able to come back from injuries. Ingersoll draws a leadoff walk. Was he and Zach Dart? Was a star baseball player at Spanish Fork. Worried about him because he didn't get to play the baseball season after getting hurt in camp. But he was able to get back on the field as well, and so good to see Fisher back out there. As the leadoff man's aboard here for Easton Jones. And he fouls that one into the glove, strike 1. Jones walked and scored in the first, and he's gone down on strikes his last 2 at-bats. His first time facing Jordan Fry. Or pardon me, it's Max Bateman now on the hill. And, of course, Bateman on the football team as well was a tight end. That one misses. Count goes 2-1. Runner goes. And they've taken bags easily today as American Fork. So much so they've caught the. Don't know who's talking to cover there in the middle infield. There really is no resistance on the steal as Jones lifts this one out of play. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coming up next is going to be Bingham and Pleasant Grove. Terrific coaching matchup. As that one comes up and in. Oh, we got a balk first. So advance the runner to third. And you bat at your own peril. We'll read the 3-2. So the payoff pitch one more time. And Jones once again. Probably getting close to a state record for most foul balls in a single game. And in fantasy, no, those aren't souvenirs. As that 3-2 pitch belted into left center field. Going back, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Easton Jones takes that one for a ride and a 2-run blast for American Fork. And it's 9-0 Cavemen. As the champs flex their muscle in this one. They may come in the 5 seed, but they're not a true 5 seed when you see the talent on the field. So Ingersoll gets a board on the walk, and Jones with the dinger. And that'll bring up Caden Carpenter. And Carpenter looks at ball 2. Oh, it's a called strike. For the next game, Bingham versus Pleasant Grove. Darren Henry and Joey Sato. And that 2-1, no give. Count goes to 3-1. And that 3-1 chopped out of play. And now the payoff. Put a man back on. So 3. So the walk here and coming to play now is Josh Rojas. I think if you asked him, he'd tell you baseball is life. But we're going to have a quick break. Conversation at the mound. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament. So Josh Rojas steps in. Game-ending runs on first base. No outs. And he looks to strike 1. And the bender misses. Breaking ball lifted in left field. This one's got a chance going back off the board, and that's a home run. 2-run home run for Rojas. Catch all day long, get beat up. Always feels good to see the number 2 on their lineup card, number 1 in your hearts, go deep and get a chance to feel pretty good about all the effort they put on the dish. And it's now 11-0 American Fork. And that'll do it there for Bateman as Coach Bezing going to come out and have a conversation, make a change. We'll take the break with them. All AF here at Larry Miller Field. So welcome back in, Tanner Walkenhurst. Now coming into pitch is Dax Newman. So Dax Newman comes up. Singled and scored last inning. He does have an RBI back in the first inning. As that one's fouled off. And the 0-1 misses. Count will be 1-1. And a 1-1 pitch. Lifted in the right field. Going to carry and put away for the first out of the inning. There's Jethro Johnson still out there. So many changes, never quite sure. But one away. Now I'll bring up Dax Walks. One thing we know, this is going to be much longer than a 3-pitch bat with Dax Watts. And misses down. The guy hung and hung and hung his last at bat, leading to an RBI single. And Watts wears it. Just because I said that. Shows how good my guarantees are. As Watts wears that one and be a runner on first. So now Davis Andrews will come to the plate. With one aboard and one out. And that one's lifted out of play. And Andrews frustratingly went down on strikes last inning after a long at bat. That one fisted the short. Goes short way for one. The turn not there. Dug by Comer to not allow the runner to advance. But the second out. So TJ Mascaro comes up. And Mascaro's had a pretty good day today. 2 for 3 with a run scored and 2 runs driven in from the 9-hole hitter. That one misses up. And that one in for a called strike. And now the 1-1. Foul back to the screen. They count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pleasant day today at the ballpark. And hope you enjoyed all the Game Night Live Rewind streams today. Exciting action up at Rio Tinto as the 5A Boys Soccer Championship set for Wednesday. 2 shootout games. No soccer purists hate it. I love it. The Alta and Lehigh. Oh, called strike 3, and that'll do it for the inning. But a 4-run inning from American Fork with 2 long balls. We go to the bottom of the 6th and last chance here for Lone Peak. They got to plate 2 to stay alive. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSL Sports. Last chance opportunity here for Lone Peak. Dane Tenney steps in. Lone Peak needs to score 2 runs to keep the game alive. And Tenney hits this one to right field. That's going to get down. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Catcher going to get a chance to run some bases. There's that ball thrown back in, but that's a leadoff double from Tenney. So runner on as the speed up will come in. So that brings up Easton Comer. Lone Peak showing some fight here at the top of the. So. So Comer with the chance to pick up an RBI. Got 10 RBIs on the season. Legend Joey Sato coming into the press box, and you're ready to see him. You get to see him soon. Has that strike in there? He was a count at a ball and a strike. Coach Joey Sato and his Bingham Miners will be coming up next, taking on Pleasant Grove. That feels like every year it's PG Pleasant Grove in the state tournament in baseball. And Joey Sato's been around long enough. He had a coach against John Hoover at PG. He's not hearing me. As Comer picks up RBI number 11 on the year. Not that hard. You double with your leadoff guy, next guy knocks him in. But there comes the run. And it's a 10-run game. Lone Peak has to score one more for us to see the 7th inning. So one aboard on the RBI single from Easton Comer. And I'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Jethro Johnson. This will be the only inning today that Lone Peak will not go down 1-2-3. They've gotten a base runner on in 2 different innings, but they were once picked off in the first inning, the second inning, or probably back in the 5th inning, last inning. It was a double play ball after a single. Well, the first inning, they'll have more than 3 batters. As Comer leads away from first, and that ball's inside. Count as 2 balls and no strikes. Jethro Johnson is 0 for 1 today. Grounded into a double play back in the 3rd. And that pitch finds his own, so 3-1. And that's there for called strike 2, so come all the way back here. 3-0, 3-2. Top of the order coming up next with Crew McChesney. Lone Peak trying to get us to the 7th. That ball chopped to the first base side. Step on first, throw to second, not in time. And there's 2 outs. Lone Peak fans yelling he dropped the ball. He did drop it. I think he still stepped on the bag. The umpire saw it the same way I saw it. Umpires will get together at the request of Coach Bezant. But your first base umpire was still there. As of right now, it's 2 outs. Or probably 1 out. Check that.
Kurt, 2 out. Do we have 1 out right now and then maybe 2?
Yeah.
Decide what's happening right here, right?
Yeah, right now, we don't have... This is the value of having a Mike Pereira to go to. They're going to call him out, but the runner at second base. We don't have replay set up to not be able to go back and adjudicate that, but 1 out, and to the top of the order we go in Crew McChesney. It's the most productive inning for the Sloan Peak offense. I'm not even talking about the runs, but the 2 hits. We go to the top of the order, 1 out. McChesney with the game-saving run at second base. Or game-extending, I should say. As that pitch off the plate. And now another stoppage. Is AF going to come out, have a quick conversation. And have a chat with Brighton Nielsen. Hurler out there. And a chance to remind you so 2 balls and no strikes to Crew McChesney. Hey, Crew lifts that one out of play. So 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned Crew batting .420 coming into the day. But he's yet to reach. Ground out to first, back in the first. Went down looking in the 4th. But both of those at-bats were against Caden Carpenter, who was on his game today. And now the 2-1. That's up and out of the zone. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, the game-extending run is standing at second base. Next game going to come up at a 5 o'clock start with a 30-minute warm-up whenever that takes place before we start Bingham and Pleasant Grove. Ball comes inside. It is ball 4. McChesney will take his base. But the double play ball now in order at first and second. And 1 out. That brings up Cade Gamble, the left fielder. Cade is 1 for 2 today. If he ends up 2 for 3, we'll be seeing a 7th inning. So for Brighton Nielsen, he just wants to work down, get himself a ground ball, see if he can get out of the inning. For Gamble, he finds some grass and extend the game. And Nielsen having a hard time finding the zone. Breaking ball, not there again. If Coach Ingersoll is reminding Brian Nielsen, hey, just pitch to contact, let the guy hit the ball. Don't have to blow it by anybody. Work down, get the ground ball, let him work behind you. And that one's down as well, so 3-0. Aiming here. So you got to come all the way back on Gamble. Fastball, no. Base is loaded. And that'll do it. So Brian Nielsen will be lifted here with the bases loaded and a 1 out. Pitching change coming. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament. So welcome back in, bottom of the 6th inning. And Caden Hodson going to step in, trying to extend the day. As that pitch is in there for a called strike. Pitching now for American Fork is number 19, Tanner Ellerly. And Tanner wide of the plate, kind of leaving it a ball and a strike to Hodson, the shortstop. Again, the situation is this. Hodson gets a hit. Game's going to be extended into the 7th inning. And so for Lone Peak, any way they can get the run, they're going to take it. And for AF, they want a ground ball so they can get a double play and end the game. Corners bring it home, middles turn it. And out for Hodson, 3-1, put the ball on a tee, but I imagine he might have a red light here. Coach Besant isn't worried about anything else other than trying to get the 7th inning, give yourself a chance. And with 1 out and bases loaded, Lone Peak has a chance to make something happen. No red light. And Hodson fouls that one off. And now the full count. And Hodson fouls that one out of play. And the count will stay full. And again, the payoff pitch, but no timeout granted first. So again, if you're checking in for the Bingham Pleasant Grove game, that'll be coming up at the conclusion of this one. 30-minute warm-up. We're going to push our day back a little bit. As this ball hit well in the left field, that might plate the run, and it does. So a sacrifice fly for Caden Hodson. And they're going to extend the game. So Comer comes in. So runners on first and second, and Fry comes to the plate. And that ball off the plate. Come on. So 1-0. And that ball lifted. And this, the outfield, and we will be going to the top of the 7th inning. 2 runs plated by Lone Peak. And they fight off the 10-run rule as we head to the top of the 7th inning. And it is 11-2, American Fork leading Lone Peak. You're watching the 2022 6A baseball tournament on KSLSports.com. Well, welcome back to Larry Miller Field Monday Baseball here at BYU, the 2022 6A baseball tournament. Lone Peak fought off the 10-run rule, and here we go, the top of the 7th inning, top of the order for American Fork, so nothing coming easy for the Knights, as we're going to be leading off with Ryder Robinson. Ryder reached and scored in the 4th. As he looks at ball 2. Or probably ball 1, count even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch from Walkenhurst misses. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned fun week this week. Be here at BYU till Friday when we'll go to UVU's. That ball is scorched to center field. McChesney going back off the wall. That'll be a stand-up double for Robinson. And the leadoff man is aboard. He had a ball like that in the 2nd inning. McChesney was able to track it down. And that one, obviously a little bit more to it. So that brings up Fisher Ingersoll. As mentioned, young man going to go to TCU. A long-time commit to BYU. But he's going to join Braden Taylor, the Utah connection down in Fort Worth. And Fisher looking for the RBI and takes a look at strike 1. Fisher reached and scored in the 1st, reached on an error. Walked and scored last inning. In fact, he's reached on an error twice in this game. Always hurts the batting average and helps some other stats. Does it count even at 1-1? And the 1-1. Breaking ball didn't break. 2-1. And chop to the third base side, looking back, fire across the infield, and Ingersoll retired for the first out of the inning.
The third baseman,
I'll bring up Easton Jones. And Easton Jones on a two-run home run last inning. Walked and scored in the first. And the two-run bomb. That's in there for a called strike. And the breaking ball well off the plate. And the 1-1. That one lifted out of play. And that pitch misses up. He was the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson. Breaking ball, swung through and missed. Man, he felt like he could swing at that thing twice. The way you could tell that Jones just could not hold up on it. Oh, someone was giving a little lip on his way back to the dugout. He didn't appreciate someone there right behind home plate. So Caden Carpenter comes to the plate. The runner on second, 2 outs. Looks at ball 1. And that one misses up. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0. And Carpenter hits that one well into right field. Jethro Johnson not going to get there in time. That's going to fall in. Carpenter to second. And an RBI double for Caden Carpenter. So Carpenter with a 2-out double. So I'll bring up Josh Rojas. So that brings up.
So typically what I do is whatever the next start time is, I'll do 30 minutes. And 15 minutes into it, I tell the whole team to take over.
And do they swap on their colors?
So Rojas 0-1. And then that one, check swing, foul ball. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second. Now Rojas will step out. And Rojas had a 2-run home run last inning. He's wanting a little fastball on the inner half and not going to see it there on the 0-2 pitch. Kissed it off the scoreboard in left field. And the breaking ball did not break. Stayed up 2-2. And the 2-2 lifted up in the infield. And that'll do it. The Squows, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, but American Fork did play another run. 10-run deficit for Lone Peak. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSL Sports. And welcome back in. Bottom of the 7th inning, and Lone Peak trying to keep things going. And I believe we have Connor Pay at the plate. As that pitch is off the mark. Trevor Pay. Trevor is always going to be mad at me for that because I'm going to call him Connor. He could end up being an All-American at BYU, and I'll still call him Connor. As Trevor dribbles that one to the right side. And he retired for the first down of the inning. So now Chris Billings will come to the plate, and Billings looks at ball one. So intern Preston will get our scoreboard updated. There we go. Attaboy. Billings chops this one to the right side. Beautiful play, but just a wide throw. It'll be runner on first base, E4. First error of the day. So now Dane Tenney to the plate.
Kurt, 2 outs.
Just went out. So Dane Tenney doubled and scored last inning. As that ball's up and in. And Tenney gives that one a ride down the left field line and foul. It's kind of even in a ball and a strike. As Tenney will come back. Saw his counterpart hit a 2-run homer. Thought he'd get involved. Hit a double down the right field line last inning. And they get in the line again here. Hits that one off the end of the bat. Didn't quite get the barrel to it. And he's retired for the second down of the inning. So down to the final out. Here comes Easton Comer, the first baseman. So, winner of this game will take on Farmington. So it looks like AF Farmington tomorrow at 7 p.m. Lone Peak will be back here to take on Fremont at 1:30. Again, we'll have all those games for you right here on KSLSports.com. Be hanging out here at BYU. JT Wistersill at UVU. And, of course, Dane Stewart taking care of the boys and girls lacrosse tournaments. Then Alex Tumelit has been at Juan Diego today. Will be at Rio Tinto. I kept saying Rio Tinto earlier today. Missed ahead of myself. As Comer chops that one to third, and that will be the final out of the day. AF, the 5 seed in the tournament, number 1 in your hearts, the reigning 6A champions, taking care of Lone Peak 12-2. What a day for American Fork, as they will advance into the state tournament. Be back tomorrow to take on Farmington at 7 p.m. on a big win tonight. Again, final score, American Fork 12, Lone Peak 2. Our Heidemann Associates player of the game. We can go Caden Carpenter. Well, you could go Carpenter pitching-wise. We're going to go Rojas. Rojas caught a good game on the dish. Also had that 2-run home run. There's a lot of guys we could go with, but thought they were outstanding today. But again, congratulations to Coach Ingersoll and the Cavemen advancing in the state tournament on a 12-2 win against Lone Peak. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Again, we'll be here all week long. Thank you for joining us and watching Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. Brought to you by Heidemann Associates and Western Governors University. We'll be right back with Bingham and Pleasant Grove.